Welcome to the Winning in Business podcast. I'm your host, Kelli Risse, and I love talking to business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs who are winning in business. Are you ready to reach your next level of success? If so, join us on the Winning in Business podcast as I interview entrepreneurs, business professionals, and leaders who share how they've risen to success. Before we begin, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification button so you'll be notified each time a new episode is released. Plug in and settle in. You're about to be inspired to rise up to your next level of success. Welcome to another episode of Winning in Business. This is your host, Kelli Risse, and this is where we dive into strategies, skills, and mindset for high performers to keep winning in business and life. So today we are talking about something that I know is on all of our minds, getting back into a routine as we shift into fall. You know the feeling. Summer's been a blast, maybe a little chaotic, but now the temperatures are changing. If you have kids, they're back in school. And let's be real, pumpkin spice, coffee, shakes, muffins, cereal, all the pumpkin spice has hit the grocery store shelves. And so that's our cue. It's time to hit the reset button. So go ahead and grab your favorite fall beverage and let's chat about how we can set ourselves up for success this season. All right, so let's talk about this idea of a seasonal reset. And I love this concept because, who doesn't need a fresh start every now and then? And fall is the perfect time to hit that reset button. I just love the crisp air. The temperatures are cooling down. And here's the deal. A seasonal reset isn't just about cleaning out your closet. Although let's be real, that is always on my to-do list around this time, switching out the clothes. But really, it's about taking a moment to pause and reassess where you're at, where you want to go, and what habits are going to get you there. And this is especially important for us solopreneurs because let's face it, we don't have a boss setting our schedule or coworkers holding us accountable. It is all on us. So every Labor Day, I like to evaluate my personal routine and how is my personal routine supporting or not supporting my business goals. So I like to think about, is my sleep schedule supporting the energy I want to have throughout the day? Is my nutrition supporting my health, which also leads into my energy? Are my current self-care practices supporting my mental, physical, and emotional well-being? Meaning, how's my mood? How is my itty-bitty shitty committee? Is it under control or is it loud? What's going on? How's my self-care? So that's the first thing that you're going to do right now. You're going to dive in and reflect on where you're currently at. So take a look right now. Hard look at your routines, or maybe lack thereof, and that's okay. Just do a quick reflection. So here's some questions to ask yourself. What's working well for you right now? What part of your day feels productive, fun, easy? And on the flip side, what's dragging you down? What are the time wasters or energy drains, or what's not working that's slowing you down, right? What's killing the vibe that is not allowing you to be the high performer that you want to be? Notice whatever comes to mind. Just be honest with yourself. There's no pressure here. So what's working well for you right now? And what's not working well? So I'll give you an example. I realized that some of my afternoons were totally unproductive. Like I would hit that 3 p.m. slump, and instead of like powering through, I would end up on social media. And I wasn't even productive on social media. It was literally the mindless scrolling and just kind of like numbing out. And so I had to make a change. And so I started blocking off 15 minutes in the afternoon to go outside and take a break. I would walk outside on my deck. That's where the sun is. I would stand there. I would take some deep breaths and I would just take in the surroundings. And so for me, being in the sunshine, being away from my desk, gave my mind a break. It gave my body some vitamin D, and my breathing helped calm my body, right? So we know, I've talked before about how breathing taps back into your sympathetic system. And so your body knows that you're okay, right? And like those big, deep belly breaths instead of like the up here in your chest breath. And so that was huge for me. And if I would just take, it always didn't even need to be 15 minutes. That's what I blocked off because I'd usually need to go to the bathroom. I would need my afternoon snack. So it was all kind of a thing. And then I would come back in and I would find that then I was awake and I was alert and I would get something accomplished as opposed to sitting here for an hour, maybe just getting nothing accomplished because I would end up in that slump. A client of mine, she started exercising in the morning. She was an evening person. She used to exercise in the evening, but she has taken on more responsibility in her business and she's like scaling up. And so by the time evening came, some unexpected things were often coming up and it was just difficult for her. And so she started exercising in the morning instead. And she noticed her energy was increasing. And most importantly, y'all, she stopped beating herself up. She let go of the like, oh, I should have, right? Because it was already done. And so that alone for her, just moving her exercise from the evening to the morning, made such a difference for her. And then I had another client and she was rushing from like meeting to a meeting, appointment to appointment, and she was just feeling that like hurried and chaotic. And even if she was getting there on time, it was still just the driving from here to there, right? So she started spending 2 minutes in her car listening to classical music and breathing between each appointment. And this helped her feel calm and settled for her meetings. So it's that whole thing of like just bringing the self-awareness to what is working, what is not working, and what's the little thing that needs to be done, right? Okay, so you've had time to reflect. Now it's time to start building a routine that can actually work for you. So here's a few steps to help you create like an effective routine that will feel good and easy for you to stick to. Number one, set clear intentions for the season. A routine does not need to be forever long, right? It just needs to be for a season because pretty soon the season's going to change even more and it's going to get dark at 5 o'clock and the routine might have to change again. So let's just get through the next couple of months, right? So first thing, set a couple intentions for this season. What do you want to achieve by, let's say, end of October? Like, let's just go with that. Like end of October, what do you want to achieve? Are you launching a new product? Are you growing your client base? Are you going down to a 4-day work week and going to take Fridays off, right? Keep it simple and focused. Also, who do you want to be? Who do you get to be in order to achieve the goal that you just said? Do you want to be focused, productive, creative, balanced, organized, mindful? I mean, the list can go on, right? So be thinking, what do you want to achieve in the next couple of months? And who do you want to be? So for me personally, I have 8 speaking engagements coming up. So I want to be organized, focused, and service oriented. And so my goal is to have each of my presentations and slide decks finished 1 week prior to the speaking engagement. And I want to make sure that I am just going to provide value and add just everything that needs to be added in these presentations so that the attendees leave feeling like that was so worth their time, because how many of us have sat through something that has not been worth our time? So that's my goal. So step 2 leads into, how do we take these big goals and then break them down into small, manageable tasks? So this becomes, what is going to go on my daily to-do list or my weekly to-do list to get this done, right? So if I have 8 presentations, and some of them, my slide decks will be similar, but not exactly the same, different audiences. Some of them do have different messages. So I need to make sure that I'm planning out, right? So are you using a digital planner for that? Are you using a journal? Are you just using some good old note paper? Like whatever it is, are you using a tool? Like, are you using Asana or Trello? Whatever it is, break it down into manageable tasks, whatever routine you want to do. Maybe it's your morning routine, your evening routine. Break it down, break it down, break it down. All right, step 3. This is a big one. Don't forget to schedule time for yourself. We have got to incorporate self-care and breaks. You high achievers out there, I see you. We often feel like we have to be working 24/7 to be successful, but we know that's a one-way ticket to burnout. So make sure you're building in some downtime, whether it be a morning walk, whether it be a midday yoga session, whether it be time to read a book that has nothing to do with your business or your industry. I have read several fiction books this summer. It has been amazing. And it gives me something to talk about because, believe it or not, my friends have actually read these books also, or favorite authors, right? Like we have some favorite authors. And so then we sit around and talk about it. It's fabulous. There's a couple days that my schedule has been just kind of wonky. I have had to take a Pilates class in the middle of the day. And yes, I do that. I consider it my lunch break. And I go, it's a 50-minute class, and then I go back to work. So how can you fit self-care and breaks into your schedule? Now, if you are at a 9 to 5 job, that may not be possible for you to leave like that. If you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, you have a little bit more flexibility to be able to do that. So here's what I want you to be thinking about. Self-care is unapologetically protecting your peace of mind. So your emotional peace, your mental peace, and your physical peace. So for me, y'all, I have so many different forms of self-care that I can tell you. If you know me, you know that I am an only child and I am a Leo. So I don't have a problem with self-care at all. So here's a few of mine. And all of these fall into different forms of self-care for me. Every morning, I make my bed. That is self-care to me. I read a scripture verse. I read a quote of the day by Abraham Hicks. I read 2 daily affirmations. And while I'm in the shower, I listen to a powerful subliminal message that just gets me going. I exercise 5 times a week. I get a massage every 6 to 8 weeks because my body needs it, because I exercise 5 times a week. My husband and I, we make plans to do something with friends at least once a week. Sometimes it's more, but at least once a week. Another form of self-care for me is I spend 10 minutes in the evening straightening the house so that when I wake up in the morning, for the most part, the counters, floors, main living areas are clean. And then another very important thing for me is before bed, I get all my vitamins ready for the next day. so that they are ready to go. And yes, I do take quite a few supplements, so it does involve me getting them ready. But those are different forms of self-care for me. And so I encourage you to make sure that you are scheduling them in, whether it be in your morning routine, your evening routine, or sometime during the day. All right, step 4. Stay flexible and adjust as needed. Y'all, here's the deal. We know life happens. We know stuff comes up. However, you need to figure out, are you using life as an excuse, or is it just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yes, I need to be flexible right here, because I have seen both. The point is not to have such a rigid schedule, but a routine that really serves you and that can adapt as your needs change. When I say exercise 5 times a week, it doesn't always mean it's the same 5 days, because sometimes something happens in the morning and I have to have a meeting, I have to be somewhere, and so I need to switch days. Like, that's fine. I'm very flexible in that way. So think about, are you being flexible, or is it that you're always going, well, this happened and it's an excuse and I couldn't do it, or this happened. So you have to create a routine where you can stay flexible and adjust. Okay. For me, knowing my why I do these things is totally what keeps me on track. Like, I know why I exercise, because it is stress management for me. I need it to move my body around. I'm a former dancer, and it's super important to me to just keep moving my body. Like, that's my why. So that's why I exercise. Why do I make my bed in the morning? Because it's the first thing that I do, and I get to pat myself on the back every morning and be like, good job, you already accomplished something and you've only been up for a few minutes. It also, my room then looks very nice and neat. So for me, that is a why. Like, it brings organization into my bedroom. So I think about the why and then I do it. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Okay. And then, think about, while you're thinking about your routine, we have so many apps. There are so many tools out there that can help you. So what do you need? Do you need productivity tools like Trello, like Asana? Those really help managing daily goals and tasks. There's a great app out there that will give you check marks for all the habits that you do. And then it'll give you gold stars. Like, you could do that. There's the Pomodoro timer. For those of you that struggle with focus, you can do 25 minutes of work followed by a 5-minute break. That's a great app. If you're looking for affirmations, there's the I Am app. If you need meditation, there's the Headspace app. I mean, so many apps out there. Let's see. Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you need help putting some habits together, like this, I personally help clients do this, and read the book. It really talks about stacking habits, right? Stacking habits on top of habits that you already have. If you want to build in a new habit into your routine, stack it on top of one that you already have that you're really good at, because then you're just adding it on top of something. If you put 2 brand new habits together that you've never done before, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay. Also, find podcasts that motivate and inspire you. Y'all, go back. I have some podcasts about self-care. I have some podcasts all about business things. Go back and listen to them. See what you need. Go back through the titles. And then I also suggest right now, while the weather is amazing, at least it is here in the Midwest, get outside. Get outside. Be in nature where you can just brainstorm. I don't know. I feel like my best ideas always come when I'm outside walking around. And think about adjusting your work hours to match the daylight, right? So that, because our system kind of automatically does that. Okay, so the fall reset. We've covered a lot. So reflect on your current routine. Build new habits that work for you. How can you build your habits and work them into your business, right? Is it your morning and evening routine that's off? Is it your work routine that needs to be moved around? Are you trying to do something creative in the afternoon when really you're most creative in the morning? Switch your routine, right? Are you more creative in the evening? And you're trying to be creative in the morning. Like, you got to make it work for you. So figure that out. And then what tools and resources do you need to keep you on track? Now, we know that the goal here is never to create the perfect routine. It's just about what feels good and will help you thrive in this new season. So think about one small change you're going to start making today. I'd love to hear it. Share your thoughts. Put it in the comments. I would also love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a friend who might need a little fall motivation and a big reset. And then stay tuned for next week's episode, where we'll dive into another new topic. And until then, stay inspired, stay productive, and enjoy that pumpkin spice. This is Kelli Risse, keeping it real. Rise up and live. Thank you for being a part of the Winning in Business podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to rise up to your next level of success, but are worried about increased stress, time for work and yourself and your family, not to mention being exhausted, I'd like to invite you to a complimentary strategy call where I'll show you how you can do it all. I'll help you reclaim time, keep your sanity, handle the chaos with ease, and move to the next level of success that you deserve and desire. I hope you found value in listening today. Please always leave your comments, feedback, or questions. We check them all. I want you to continue winning in business and reach your next level of success. See you next time.